Okay, students, you are next going to learn how to create graphs and charts using Microsoft Excel. Now, suppose I have this data about the favorite ice cream loved by 1F students. So each student gets to vote only once for chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, cookies, and cream, peanut butter, or cotton candy. So if I add this up, I should get about 38 students. Now, let's fix up this table of data a little better. All right, so first I want to merge and center maybe these three columns. All right, maybe I want to make that bold and increase the font size. All right, so let's say a 12. So making it right, and these are also headings, so maybe I want to make it bold and increase the font size. Right, so I want you to notice that I have this at 180%, but normally if I'm working on it, it should be about 100, 110%. All right, I only made it bigger so that you can see what's going on in the video. So these are the different flavors of ice cream, and these are the amount of students who like chocolate would be 8, the amount of students who like cookies and cream would be 10, etc. Now, with spreadsheet, in case you didn't notice before, I could highlight cells and I could put borders around these cells. So I'm going to use all borders. You could play around with it and choose whichever one that you think would make your spreadsheet look better. All right, so I'm going to unmerge this because I really wanted to only go into these two columns, right? So that looks better. Maybe I could put a bold border, a thick outside border around the heading, right? So that looks good. So when you are inserting any graph or chart, you first have to highlight the data. When you highlight the data now, you click on the Insert tab, and the first chart I'm going to create is a pie chart. But before I go on to that, Excel recommends charts for the data that you select. So you'll notice one of these recommended charts is a pie chart. Another recommended chart is, this is a column chart. Another one is a bar chart. Now, to remember the difference between a bar chart and a column chart, you could remember what is a column in a spreadsheet. Columns run up and down, so therefore a bar chart would run from side to side. All right, so coming out of this, I'm still on insert and I'm going to insert a pie chart. Now I could choose to insert a donut, a 3D pie chart, or a 2D pie chart. I'm going with first a 2D pie chart. So because I have this so big, it is showing up, I'm going to make it a little smaller so you can see the whole chart. So this here is the whole chart. I can move it around by clicking in an open area, chart area, and I can make my chart smaller or bigger. So let's look at the chart itself. The heading I'm not comfortable with, so I'm going to change it to 1F favorite ice cream. All right, so this was a survey of the favorite ice cream of 1F students. So now, in some charts, I'm sure you have seen that you could label it with the values. These are the values 8, 7, 6, 10, 3, and 2. Or from a pie chart, usually I could create a percentage. So in order to do that now, I just have to right click on this area and click on Add Labels, Add Data Labels, and it adds the values to each one of the sectors. But suppose I want to add a little more. So I'm going to right click again and click on Format Data Labels. Now the options come up on the right side, so I could add in percentage. So now I have the value plus the percentage, or I could remove the value and leave the percentage alone. Also, I could add in the category name. And when I add in the category name, I no longer need to use this legend below, so I could select it and click on delete on my keyboard. So I have displayed on this pie chart the percentage of children liking and each of the flavors, and also the labels of the flavors liked. All right, now I don't have to leave this pie chart here. I can move it to be on a sheet by itself. So you see I have sheet 1, sheet 2. Sheet 2 has nothing right now. But if I move this to a sheet of its own, it will create a third sheet. So let's do that. Move chart, select new sheet, and name it pie chart. Click OK. And it has moved to its own sheet. Notice it's named pie chart. Know that I can move the pie chart from being the first sheet to the last sheet to the second sheet, anywhere I want to move it by just clicking down and dragging. Okay? In this pie chart, I cannot really see the values. So all I have to do is to click on it, go back to the home, and there I can do my formatting. So I can make it bold, and I could increase the font size so it's easily visible. I could also increase the size of the title of the chart. All right. So next I'm going to move on to a different type of chart. Remember, first thing I have to do is to highlight my data. If I don't highlight my data and I go and insert a chart, it's going to show up being empty. Let me do that and show you. Insert. I'm going to choose the column chart next. Notice it comes up empty. I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to click on delete. Highlight my chart, go to insert, the insert tab, and select the 2D chart. I could make it a 2D or a 3D column chart. Going with the 2D column chart. Remember, you know how to change the title and you know how to get values onto the bars. So add data labels. I could do that, right? So the difference between this column chart and this pie chart is that, you see the data represented as part of a whole with the pie chart, but you don't see the data represented as part of a whole with the column chart nor the bar chart. All right, so if you look up here, you have many different designs you can use, right? Since the values are already on each of the bars, I don't need the y-axis, and the x-axis is already labeled. So I could use this chart. I could change the title as I showed you before, but I don't want to take up your time in this video. So I'm going to move the chart again, and I'm going to name it a column chart. I'm moving it to its own new sheet, so it isn't with the data. Once again, I could select the values here, go back to home, and increase the font size so it's easily visible. I can even change the color of the values, right? And I could also, increase this so it looks better and change the heading altogether. So now for the third type of chart. Pretty much it's the same way as doing the other types of charts. You just click on insert, you click on whichever chart you like. I'm trying to do the bar chart now, and voila, it's there. All right, moving it to its own sheet. And there it went to its own sheet. So I'm going to drag this to the end, right? So going back to sheet 1, you can try to do any one of the other charts. Like maybe I want to insert a line chart, but not all charts are appropriate for the data that you have. Okay, so here goes.